So one of the most important parts of your paper is to keep track where all of your information comes from and to be able to cite that information. So I'm going to show you the easiest way I know how to cite and the most reliable way to get an appropriate and clear and accurate citation. So this is my website, and my article is on Land Rovers and how there's some development for a smartphone remote control for SUVs. And so I'm looking for some information here that I can use to cite my source. So in order to cite my source, I'm going to use something called Noodle Tools. You might be familiar with that from your homeschool. You might have a full subscription. You might use Noodle Tools throughout the project. If you do not have a subscription, Noodle Tools Express is free, and it will help us to cite some sources. So you would just Google Noodle Tools, go to Noodle Tools Express. The style we're using is MLA style. And then we're going to show what we're going to cite. We're going to cite a website. Probably a lot of you will use websites. You can see Noodle Tools will help you cite many, many different types of sources. I'm going to click Create Citation. I'm going to get a nice form to fill out. And this asks me here for the information I need to cite my source. And it tells me kind of what I should put in each box. And that's what I like about Noodle Tools Express and Noodle Tools. So the most recent date of access would be today, if I'm citing this for the first time today. But I actually found this article last week, and I found it on the 10th. So I'm going to put that down. That is the date that I printed my article. And that's important because sometimes content changes on the web, and this will indicate that this date is the date I printed the article. So the date of the publication, I'm going to go back to the article. That's why I keep my tabs open. I'm looking for a date. Usually it's at the top, or sometimes even at the bottom of the article. If you don't have it, you leave it blank. But my date is June 18th, 2015. Going back to Noodle Tools, month, June, date, 18th, 2015. I'm going to go back and check my date, make sure I got it right. June 18th, 2015, June 18th, 2015. Next thing that I'm looking for is the URL. That's the web address, and it's the exact address where Mr. McNaughton will be able to find your article. So I'm going to copy it and paste it. Now, web page. I'm going to be looking for the author, editor, or translator. Usually it's author. I'm going to go back and look for a person's name. If I don't have a name, I'll leave it blank. The name is James Vincent. First name is James. Middle name, no middle name, Vincent. Watch this. I fill it in and it's red. Why is it red? If I click here, it's telling me to capitalize Vincent because it's a proper noun. So that's why I like Noodle Tools. I have that filled in. Now I'm going here to web page document article title. Wow, if I don't remember what that is, what do I put in here? If it's untitled, you give a description instead. But your web page is the title of the article, so I would imagine we'll have a title for every article we use, and I can actually copy and paste it in. Copy and paste. And so it doesn't like it again, I think because SUVs is capitalized. Let me click on my little note here. The first letter of the words listed here should most likely be capitalized unless they're in a language other than English. So it's telling me develop smartphone remote and control. So I'm going to go back and fix that. I'll just go back to here. The smartphone remote control for its SUVs. And it also tells me so it should most likely be capitalized. Now I've made it happy. English translation, that is only if the article is entitled in a language other than English. That's not the case. Name of the website. So that's the name of the website or project. And I'm going to go back here and take a look. This V up here in the tab is a hint that there is actually a website name, and it's The Verge. The publisher of the site is often who sponsors the website as a whole. So I'm going to look at the copyright statement at the bottom, way down here. And The Verge is from Vox Media. So I'm going to put that in. Again, we see a red line here because that needs to be capitalized. It's a proper noun. And I misspelled it. So Vox Media is here. Editors of the site as a whole, I don't think there's no indication there's an editor of a site as a whole, so we're going to leave that blank. Again, if you don't have the information, you leave it blank. Annotations, we're not asking you to do that. There is no edition, version, or revision number, which you might find on a magazine or journal article, but this is just a website article. Probably similar to what you'll find. I'm going to click Submit, and I have now my works cited entry. So I'm going to copy this, and I'd be able to go right into my Word or my Google document and put this in at the end of my paper. I'm not going to keep my works cited as a separate list. I'm going to keep it as part of my document because you'll be submitting it along with your paper. So here I go. Just a double space. This also, by the way, in paragraph should be set to 0. And paste it in. Now, this is not exactly beautiful hanging in that, so I'm going to have to play around and get it hanging in that. Although, Word has a really nice function. It's not available in Google, but I can go to hanging indent and it will beautifully fix my citation. I want these all kind of even. Just play around with the spacing to get there, and I want this double space. There we go. And that's what our works cited entry should look like. I would make these all Times New Roman and make sure they're all 12-point font. And then I'm done. So that's how to do the works cited. Now let's go back, and you can see here, if I want an in-text citation, it'll show me how to do it. At the end of your sentence, the name Vincent. And there's no page number because it's a web source. The page numbers are only used when it's a print source, where the pages will always remain the same. And it explains everything I would need to know. It gives me some ideas, some ways to put in a citation, what to do if there's no author. And so this is a really nice teaching and kind of tool to help you know that you're citing correctly. So I hope you'll use Noodle Tools Express to help develop your sources and avoid plagiarism, and I'll help you with this when we're doing our writing labs, but I wanted to give you a little heads up on the job.